Good morning, all. Thank you all for joining us today in this discussion on POPI compliance and the POPI Toolkit add-on to SMBsecure. Just for some context, SMBsecure is a small business bundle tailored to help your small business clients stay secure and earn trust while remaining compliant. My name is Tristan Govender. I'm a senior sales engineer with CRS. I handle a lot of the technical side of the solutions. Today, we have a very important guest with us. We have Dawn from POPI Comply. Dawn is a co-founder and director of POPI Comply and is also the CEO and founder member of Simply Comply. She founded POPI Comply, an organization focused on compliance and data protection requirements of POPI and GDPR. Dawn is a highly skilled, certified, and experienced member of community, and she's actively involved in data protection compliance, both in South Africa and the EU. For the agenda today, we have an introduction to POPI, into the POPI Act. We have the POPI Compliance Challenge for small to medium businesses. We have an introduction to the POPI Kit, how to use the POPI Kit effectively. And then we have some Q&A session with Dawn, and finally some closing remarks. So let's start by understanding what the POPI Act is. The Protection of Personal Information Act, or POPI Act, is a legislation enacted in South Africa to protect the personal information of individuals and organizations to ensure responsible data handling by organizations. It's crucial for all businesses, big or small, to comply with the POPI Act to protect both consumer data and their own reputation. So this is something that small to medium businesses often face challenges with when it comes to POPI compliance. These challenges include limited resources, a lack of in-house expertise, and the need for affordable compliance solutions which are effective and achieve the desired results. And that's where the POPI Kit, developed by our own expert, Dawn, comes in. So let's bring in Dawn at this point. Dawn, why is it so important for businesses, organizations, and our partners to comply?
Hi, thank you, Tristan. Well, it's important to remember that POPI is not meant to prevent processing personal information, but rather to ensure it's done fairly and without negatively affecting the rights of data subjects. Personal information is a valuable asset which historically has not been adequately safeguarded, and which, if it ends up in the wrong hands, could result in theft of identity, fraud, data ransom, and worse. With South Africa being a primary target for cybercrime, there have been numerous incidents of account hacking, phishing, ransomware exploitation, and other data breaches which have resulted in financial and reputational repercussions for organizations. We also see numerous instances of internal policies and procedures being disregarded by staff, which result in data incidents or breaches. Now, affected individuals can not only report the matter to the information regulator, but they can pursue legal action for the breach, which could result in huge legal costs and reputational damage. In severe cases, POPI even provides for criminal conviction. Now, we've seen enforcement notices issued against the likes of Dis-Chem and the Department of Justice, but what is not necessarily publicized are the out-of-court settlements amounting to hundreds of thousands of rands for matters such as email interception with changed bank account details for billing and deposits. The provisions of POPI should have been implemented in 2021. However, the reality is that this is not the case, and there seems to be a wide misconception around what is expected. This is where POPI Comply can assist.
It's fantastic. So Dawn, can you tell us more about the POPI Kit and how it can help SMBs on their journey to compliance?
Thank you, Tristan. Absolutely. So I think it's firstly important to understand the difference between compliance and legal. Compliance is preventative, and legal is what happens after the fact when everything has gone south. Now, the POPI Kit is your comprehensive self-help solution tailored specifically for small to medium businesses. It's designed to simplify the process of achieving and maintaining POPI compliance. Our kit includes documentation templates, which are ready-to-use templates for policies, consent forms, and data processing records. We've got compliance checklists, which are step-by-step guides to help you identify and address compliance gaps. We have training resources, which are educational materials to train your staff on POPI principles. And we provide updates. And these are regular updates to keep you current with POPI requirements and best practice. Access to the kit is now natively integrated within the SMBsecure plugin on Outlook. The way to access this is that you would click on the drop-down and select the POPI Toolkit. This will then take you to the site where you log in with your license name and key.
Perfect. Thank you, Dawn. Now let's discuss how businesses can use the POPI kit effectively.
Right. Thank you. Let me go into a live demo. Right. The POPI kit is broken down into a basic step-by-step program, and all you need to do is follow these steps. As you can see, the website is designed to be user-friendly, easy to access, and it's very logically structured. Once the user is logged in, the landing page is the POPI Compliance Toolkit, and as you navigate through the site, this can be accessed by selecting the POPI Compliance Toolkit tab at the top, and there is also a selector from within each step which will bring you back to this page. The compliance journey is broken into 30 steps, and each step is represented by a tile. Each tile has a completion indicator, and this changes colors once the tasks in it have been completed, which makes for an effective dashboard. There's also a completion barometer at the top as a header. Now, as you select the tile, if you click on View Actions, you're provided with information in respect of the tasks which need to be completed. Let me show you how this works. And we've now started with step 1, which provides detail around registering the information officer and deputy information officer. You'll see that there is an action tab as well as a materials tab at the top. So let's start with the action tab. The tasks are set out in summarized actions with some basic information to keep things simple. Now, this particular step requires the user to identify and register the information officer, as well as identify whether a deputy information officer is required, and if so, register this person as well. You will see that we've noted that the head of the organization is automatically the IO, but can delegate this role to a senior staff member. However, there is a process to this. We've provided a list of typical documents which would be required to evidence this step, and just below this, you will find links to the tool or template which forms part of the kit. By clicking on this link, and I'm just going to show you here now, by clicking on this link, the user now has access to the downloadable document, and that can be saved into their own computer. Where applicable, we've also provided useful links, such as this one, which takes you to the Information Regulators registration form, as well as the website where registration will take place. Now, this maintains an elegant simplicity. The Materials tab, let's just go up a little. The Materials tab on each tile provides a quick link to the resources, so you can go and click on the Information Officer registration, click from here as well. And it also provides a link to the actions checklist. Now, the actions are supplemented. Let's just go back. The actions are supplemented by a comprehensive manual, which is useful as both a reference and a training guide. We've noted the most important sections and chapters of the manual which apply to each step. And in this particular instance, we're looking at the POPI manual section 7. So to access the manual, we can go and click on the reference section, or we can actually go into the POPI compliance manual by selecting it here at the bottom. Now, if you have a look, the manual is a little more comprehensive, and we were looking at section 7. So let's go and click on section 7 to see what it contains. You'll see it's broken up into small, easy to understand and read sections, which the user can work through and which provides more detail than the summarized tasks. Click on next topic and it moves on to the next section. Okay, you can toggle between the previous topic and go to the next topic, so it's nice and easy to use. Right. Let's go back to the toolkit and to step 1. You will see that there's a compliance actions checklist at the bottom of each tile. Now, the compliance actions checklist is a set of questions which allows the user to confirm that they have in fact completed this particular step. Have you identified and registered your Deputy Information Officer at the Information Regulator? Are your login details securely and confidentially stored? And have you identified and registered your information officer? So we could just say yes, yes, and yes, and we'll finish the action checklist. And as we complete this, it will then update the tile in terms of the action, and it would note it as being complete. Right. There is a slightly more comprehensive checklist in the manual which users can complete and which provides more detailed guidance. Let's have a look at step 10. This describes, let me just go and click on there. This describes the requirements in respect of the responsible party and operator relationships. Now, this is a risk area which is often overlooked and which can easily result in liability for an organization. The requirement here is to identify those relationships because where a third party processes personal information on behalf of an organization, the organization remains responsible for the security of the personal information processed. If there's a breach, for example, this can impact both the third party and the organization. Example of these types of relationships would include outsourced payroll, recruitment, operating systems, cloud service providers, accounting, etc. Now, we've included a tool which organizations can use to determine the nature of the relationship, as well as a sample policy for this. Where this type of relationship exists, there are specific requirements which must be met, including things like a documented due diligence, a terms of service, and measures for ongoing assurance in respect of the third party's data protection and compliance measures. Now, we suggest that a register be maintained for this as a control. The My Profile tab at the top, if you go and click on that, leads to a progress summary as well as an audit trail of access to the manual. Let's just go and have a look. And the toolkit. If you go and click on My Repository, this leads directly to the resource library, which has a search functionality as well as a filter option. So if, for example, you are looking for records. Nice and easy to find. And it brings up the downloadable tools and templates. The support tab sends an email to SMBsecure and they will action queries accordingly. Our terms of use are on the site and they're highlighted for easy accessibility. Now, what sets POPI Comply apart from its incredibly low price is its guided process, its simplicity, and its resources. There's absolutely nothing like it in the market, and we believe that this will provide SMBs with exactly what they need in order to manage and mitigate their compliance risk.
Thanks for that, Dawn. That was brilliant. I think these are highly critical steps that, when followed diligently and with the help of the POPI kit, will definitely guide your business to achieve and maintain POPI compliance, right? This is something highly pertinent to your clients. And remember that compliance is an ongoing process, and staying up to date with regulations is essential, right? Dawn will now field some questions around POPI and the benefits of using the POPI kit to guide you to compliance. Let's keep it interactive, and there is a prize for the person who asks the most questions. So let's pop some questions into the chat box Q&A section, and let's make it an interactive session. We do have a couple of sessions also lined up from some of the team members. So let's start with those ones first. If you do also have a question, you may also just raise your hand and I will unmute you and you'll be able to ask it directly to Dawn. Are there any questions so far from the audience? Let's see, first one, what happens if you do not register your information officer, Dawn?
Thanks, Tristan. So the head of the organization is automatically their information officer, whether registered or not. Now, the information officer is responsible for ensuring that the organization complies with the provision of POPI, and this includes ensuring proper registration. So where there is non-compliance, this can result in legal liability for the owner or CEO of a business.
Brilliant. Brilliant. See that we do have a question from the audience. Is there a cost to the POPI toolkit? It will be an add-on to the SMBsecure bundle. Okay. And then we have another, once toolkit is completed by an organization, do they get a POPI compliance certificate of some form of accreditation? Dawn, I don't know if you want to take that one. Would they receive a certificate or some sort of accreditation?
Remember that currently there is no approved certification in respect of confirming that somebody is POPI compliant. We can provide confirmation that the toolkit has been completed, but it is not a government certified or a certification. It just provides assurance to whoever the stakeholders of the organization are that measures have been undertaken.
Fantastic. How does non-compliance with POPIA affect SMBs both in terms of a legal consequence and reputation?
Consequences of non-compliance are significant. They really should not be underestimated. So if we look from a regulatory perspective, you've got fines of up to 10 million rand, and these can be imposed by the information regulator, or for serious violations, the penalty is imprisonment for up to 10 years. Now, in addition to regulatory fines, you can face civil lawsuits from individuals who've been affected by privacy breaches. Now, these can result in further financial liabilities and obviously a redirection of company resources into litigation. There's also the risk of negative publicity. These types of incidents attract negative media attention and public scrutiny, and this can further damage your reputation. I'm sure you've seen news of data breaches or privacy violations, and these spread exceptionally quickly and can result in brand damage. Now, this will likely erode trust and it will lead to customer churn, and ultimately this will affect your bottom line. There's also operational disruptions if you're subject to a regulatory investigation or an audit. Now, these activities can be time-consuming, they can be costly, once again diverting resources from your core business operations. Now, non-compliance can also lead to restrictions on the processing of personal information where you're no longer permitted to do what you were previously doing. And this can limit an SMB's ability to engage in certain business activities or marketing campaigns that they rely on. These are serious, and it's crucial for SMBs to prioritize compliance to protect their business. You know, this is one of the things that makes tools and resources such as our kit valuable for helping SMBs navigate the complexities of data protection legislation.
Perfect. Thanks for that, Dawn. I think we do have a couple of other questions here. Does POPI Comply give you a risk score or show progress? Just so, for example, on fixing things that don't comply as yet.
It shows you a completion progress bar, which also gives you an indication of your level of compliance. Absolutely. That's the beauty of the system, is that you can see exactly what has been completed and where you still need to address certain particular areas.
Fantastic. How does your kit simplify the process of achieving POPI compliance for SMBs?
Well, the POPI kit is designed to simplify the process by providing structured guidance, by providing templates and resources that streamline the compliance journey. So as you saw from the demo, it offers a step-by-step roadmap or checklist, and this outlines the key tasks and milestones that is required to ensure that you comply with POPI. Now, the structured approach helps SMBs understand what needs to be done and also in what sequence. The templates and documentations which are included in the kit are customizable, and this can match the users or the SMB's specific data processing practices. So it reduces the need to create compliance documents from scratch. We give clear and concise explanations of the requirements, of principles, of key concepts. So it assists in not having to decipher complex legal language, because we take the legal terminology and we clarify what's needed in easy to understand language. It also includes checklists, self-assessment tools, and this helps SMBs identify gaps in their compliance efforts, just to link up with the previous question. Now, if you know what you have to do and what you have done, and what's still on the agenda, it will enable SMBs to prioritize their compliance activities and then obviously apply the necessary resources. We've got tools for data mapping, for inventory creation, and obviously educational resources, training materials, and it will also include information about any changes or updates which may arise, and relevant regulations, keeping SMBs informed about their compliance requirements. Now, by providing these resources, we believe that the POPI kit simplifies the often complex and daunting task of achieving compliance. SMBs can leverage the kit and materials and effectively address the legal and operational aspects of data protection and privacy, which ultimately reduces the burden and uncertainty associated with compliance efforts.
Perfect. Thanks for that, Dawn. A question from James. Does this tool save your policies and procedures once completed, and can they be downloaded as proof?
Absolutely. So the way the toolkit works is you don't complete your policies and procedures online, unlike a lot of other similar offerings. We make it nice and easy. So all of the tools and the templates are downloadable, and that can obviously be saved to the SMB's own computer or wherever they're downloading it to.
Perfect. Does your tool scan machines for personal and company client data?
No, we are not a scanning process here. Remember, what we're doing here is providing a compliance service. So the compliance service provides steps which SMBs need to follow in order to become compliant, together with compliance tools and templates. Now, those tools and templates are policies, procedures, registers, sample documents, and training materials.
Perfect. Thanks for that, Dawn. What level of technical expertise or resources does an SMB need to effectively use the kit?
Well, the level of technical expertise or resource can vary depending on the organization's existing knowledge and capabilities. However, our kit is designed to be user-friendly and accessible to anybody at any level of technical expertise. Our templates are user-friendly. They don't require advanced technical knowledge. We use formats like Word or PowerPoint, which makes them easily editable. We provide step-by-step guidance and instructions on how to implement compliance measures, and this is all written in plain language, so it does not assume a high level of technical expertise. It's also accessible to SMBs with basic office software and equipment, such as computers with word processing software. So it doesn't typically require any specialized software or hardware. And we offer fun training materials to bridge any knowledge gaps. So SMBs can scale their compliance efforts based on their resources and capabilities, and it provides flexibility. So it allows an SMB to implement compliance measures at their own level and pace.
Okay, perfect. Are any specific industry or sector considerations from the POPI toolkit? So are there any specific industry or sector considerations for the kit that addresses it?
Just in specific industry or sector considerations will vary, and not all businesses will have the same needs. Some industries like healthcare or finance, for example, may have more stringent data protection requirements due to the sensitivity of the information that they handle. Now, our toolkit provides sufficient guidance to assist most sectors in their path to compliance. The principles apply to healthcare, medical services, and there's guidance on handling sensitive patient data, including things like medical reports and also complying with healthcare-specific regulations. It's also applicable to financial services where there's stringent requirements in respect of compliance with financial regulations and industry-specific data protection standards. But, retail, e-commerce will also find it useful because there's consent management and data protection practices relating to customer databases and online shopping platforms. Now, I would be able to work through just about every industry out there and show you how this kit will find application. We're looking at education, legal and professional services, HR, tech, manufacturing, marketing, even the sole proprietor hairdresser down the road. Any business that processes personal information, whether this is staff, clients, suppliers, will find the toolkit useful. Now, while many aspects of POPI compliance are general and apply to all industries, certain industries may have unique data protection requirements and regulations that would need to be considered.
Perfect. Thanks for that, Dawn. Does the kit offer templates and documentation that can be customized to fit the specific needs of SMBs?
Absolutely. As I said, the tools and templates are downloadable and they're fully customizable to fit the specific needs of the SMB. Now, customizability is a valuable feature as it allows businesses to tailor compliance materials to their own unique circumstances. And as I said previously, it includes policies, procedures, forms, checklists, registers, and training materials, along with a step-by-step process.
Fantastic. Perfect. What differentiates this toolkit from other compliance tools and mechanisms?
Sorry, let me unmute. In a word, everything. The toolkit's comprehensiveness and the extent to which it covers POPI compliance sets it apart. It's comprehensive. It has extensive coverage. We include the ability to customize templates, which are downloadable, and we provide resources, and these align with the unique needs and processes of the organization. We have updates and maintenance because compliance requirements can evolve over time. In fact, they do. So having access to current information is really important. As you saw from the demo, we have a user-friendly interface, which is well designed. It's sufficiently comprehensive, and there's clear organization and navigation. So it's easy for users to find and use the resources that they need at the pace that suits them. Now, with market competitors charging anything for up to 15,000 Rand just to register an information officer, our pricing really sets us apart. And this is without compromising the value of the system and of the service and of the toolkit provided.
Fantastic, fantastic. I do see that we have a couple of questions with regards to the pricing. Just take note that for the partners that are ASPs on this call, it will be on your rate card. However, please do answer the polls. It does give us some insights into what you would like to see from the POPI toolkits in terms of pricing and structuring. Perfect. For Dawn, does your kit help SMBs prepare for potential audits or assessments by regulatory authorities?
I think that's a really good question. Okay, so preparing for an audit means demonstrating compliance. Now, if the steps are followed properly, compliance should be a natural result. So this means there shouldn't be a need to prepare, but rather there should be a status of constant preparedness. We do, however, provide a self-audit document which can provide a final once-over, just for that sense of assurance in the event of this being needed.
Perfect. And I think that does actually answer your question there, James, with regards to reporting functions to provide to an audit. I believe a lot of those documentation you would be able to present on as well. Okay. For Dawn, are there any potential cost savings or efficiencies that SMBsecure can expect to gain from using the kit in their compliance journey?
There are several potential cost savings and efficiencies. So let's start with reduced legal costs. SMBs can save on legal fees by using our pre-drafted templates and guidelines. And this helps create policies, consent forms, and other required documentation. So this would reduce the need for extensive legal consultation. As I mentioned before, I saw one law firm charging 15,000 Rand just for registering an information officer, and ours comes in at a lot less than that. It is a time saver. So it streamlines the compliance process by providing ready-made resources and step-by-step instructions. So SMBs can save time that would otherwise be spent researching and developing compliance materials from scratch. There's training efficiencies because our materials can be used to educate employees about data protection, and this reduces the time and effort required for in-house training programs to be developed. There's improved compliance accuracy. So our tools and templates for data mapping and inventory would help efficiently identify and categorize personal information processed, which is a crucial step in compliance. And it's scalable. As an SMB grows, the compliance kit can be scaled, which helps the business adapt to changing compliance needs, and this is without incurring substantial additional costs. Now, it's important to note that while using a compliance kit can offer cost savings and efficiencies, achieving and maintaining compliance is an ongoing process. So SMB should still allocate resources to periodically go and review and update their compliance practices and documents because they need to stay in line with evolving regulations and business needs. And we help in that respect as well.
Fantastic. Thanks for that, Dawn. Are there any ongoing monitoring and assessment tools or features in your kit to ensure continued compliance?
Yes, there are. Regular assessments, audits, and ongoing monitoring are essential elements of maintaining compliance with data protection regulations like POPI. And the whole toolkit is designed around ensuring that there is ongoing compliance, and obviously this should be regularly reviewed. Now, our toolkit includes dashboards, and this provides an at-a-glance view of an organization's compliance status. So it will highlight any key metrics, outstanding tasks, and potential issues. It also includes the process for discovering and classifying personal data across your systems and networks, and this can help ensure that you know where personal information resides and how it's categorized. And this is an ongoing process. Our risk assessment and management can assist in identifying and assessing data protection risks on an ongoing basis. And this helps prioritize mitigation efforts and obviously then allocate resources effectively. Now, effective management of your compliance-related documents, policies, procedures, and records is crucial. And the tools that we provide can help organize, version, and maintain these documents. So a tool for conducting and documenting assessments of the impact of data processing activities on privacy is also provided. And this is something that is going to be required on an ongoing basis. So everything that is included in the kit will be useful for ongoing monitoring and assessment.
Perfect. Thanks for that, Dawn.